I've been down at the shop since about lunchtime, making a start on the waistcoat that I've been telling you all about on the streams and things. It's going to be a pretty big project, this. Lots of leather, a lot more than I've ever done before, kind of thing in one go. I'm trying to sketch out what I am thinking and what should go into the waistcoat. It's going to be pretty simple. It's going to have no pockets on the inside. It's got a lining, and I'll show you what I'm sketching here. Hopefully the camera can pick it up because it's very white. So that's what it'll look like from the front. The idea is there'll be a short collar. It'll overlap at the front here, almost not quite like a double-breasted suit, but there will be an overlap to make sure it stays nice and warm. Obviously, I can undo the toggles or buttons or however I end up doing it. I've got to look at the hardware we've got here in the shop. So I can still open it to cool off. Because, trust me, it is very, very warm. I've just used my very rudimentary artistic skills here. And I'm only using a biro to make it easier to see on camera. If you even can. I don't think you can very clearly, but I'll quickly sketch this. So I'm just going to do the rear view. Now, attached to the lining at the shoulders and the armholes here, I'm going to put rabbit hide. I've got a few skins here in the shop already. So I've got some stock on standby for the job. Oops, it's going to look more like a skirt than it is a... So the patch pockets on the front you can see here and here will also have rabbit fur in the lining. So that'll be permanent. I'm going to try and make this lining so it's removable. So let's just draw in the collar here. So this is what end up with it's just a short collar. But I'll probably put some fixing points around it like this. On the back here though, because this is hopefully going to come down reasonably low. On the back here, I'm going to put, it's going to have to be gusseted as well. Probably not by much, but I'm going to put a kangaroo pocket. I'll just be able to put a few items in here, kind of thing. Don't know. It'll be a useful pocket. And I'll put it maybe above the waistline in the small of my back, just as I can, because this will come down quite low. This will be well below my belt line, so I'll keep it up reasonably high. That's the concept. The hood, still working on that bit. I know what I'd like it to look like, and again, because it's going to be removable, I'll actually put the lining and the fur trim on that permanently. So it'll be kind of two flat pieces, maybe shaped like this, kind of thing, and then they're brought together. It'd be nice if it comes more like a cowl shape. It comes out. It'll be reasonably stiff because of the leather. So I'll be able to put it down and it'll hopefully just fold onto my back a bit, but I'll bring it up and it'll be more like a cowl to come around my head rather than a tight-fitting hood. I'll have some more thought on that, as I say, working on that bit, but if I put the fixings in place on the collar, that can be added later. More than anything, I want to have a go at making a garment, and I want to have a go at making this type of garment. Yeah, it's something I've always wanted to try, and I thought, why not? Let's do this. Yeah. So that's roughly my thought process. That's where we're going with this. Whether it actually looks like this or not, hopefully it looks nothing like my drawing, because that's naff. I really would like it to look a lot better than my drawing. You get the idea. Let's put that to one side. So these are the two back halves. You can see how much of an overlap I'm going to have, or possibly not, because the camera may not pick it up. Give you an idea, it's about that much. It's an inch of an overlap. I'm going to do 2 lines of stitching, mainly to give the seam strength, because this is the back seam. If I bring my arms forwards like this and I've got a couple of layers on, I could put that the seam under a lot of pressure. We've cut it with the stretch of the leather going that way instead of that way. That's mainly so that the garment's weight doesn't distort itself, or won't distort itself anywhere near as easily because it doesn't stretch that way. But if I am to move in it and bring my shoulders forwards and my arms forward, it's going to stretch that way. Even though this is sheep hide, it does have a slight nap. The pieces that we've cut for the front has a more prominent nap on it. They aren't as wool sheep-like. They're a lot silkier. Because this is the lining, I'm not worried too much about getting straight edges perfectly straight. I'm not worrying too much about getting the stitching in a perfectly straight line. The stitching needs to be serviceable, not necessarily pretty. We discussed a few ideas because my mother's been in here helping because she's made things in the past and I've never made anything like this. I've got no idea. And it's always good to have somebody who's even got a small amount of experience to point you in the right direction. Because I wouldn't have started sewing this together in the right order. I potentially would have put the wrong pieces together and then realised I needed to adjust something and it had all gone wrong. So I'm following the steps that she's given me here by sewing this seam first. So here we are, we're going to put this in here. Right, I'm going to line it up at the top here. I've got some quilter's pins here because quilting pins are very long and wiry. Let me put it here, you can see how long that is. These are also now all bent because I've been using them. Sorry, Lou. Right, I've been stitching now for about 3 hours. Yeah, this is really slow going, but this is the biggest seam. It's the longest seam, I should say. And also, I'm learning how to sew like this. You've seen me sewing before, and it's normally done in a clamp, and it's just quite a smooth action. You just keep going. It's quite easy to do. Yeah, oh, new jumper, by the way. Is that the same pattern as the last one? It's identical to the last one, just in blue. Maybe 4 inches off of finishing this, and I'm going to try and get it done. That's why I have time-lapsed the bit before this. That's why I sped it up. Just to give you an idea of... I intend to stop stitching... Oh, actually right where the pin goes in there. That's where I intend to stop stitching, and that's where I have finished stitching just now. So there's maybe 4 inches to do. Yeah, and that's how much I have done. I started at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It's now coming up for 5, so it's probably closer to 4 hours actually. That's how far I've managed to get in one afternoon. If somebody really does want something like this, then yes, I will probably make it for you. But the whole point in this channel and trying to do this stuff live is to highlight how long something actually takes. Yes, you can kind of get an idea, but a time-lapse video that lasts 15 minutes, as I've said before, doesn't really give you that much of a feel. You don't know whether somebody spent a day working on it or a month working on it. You can't really tell because of all the editing. I realise I'm having to fall into this trap right now where I have to edit the video in order to make it just feasible to watch. So, yeah, I realise I'm heading towards that myself at the moment. But there's the only way I can do this, I think, for this particular project. It's a big undertaking. It's a big undertaking. And I'm realising that now, because there's no way I can machine sew any of it at all. Yeah. Anyway, I better finish off this bit before I go home for dinner. So, after the mammoth 4-hour sewing session to get 20 odd inches of stitching done yesterday, I'm not happy with how it came out. I'll show you what I mean.